Ahem, ahem. I read Peanuts comics when I was a shorty, and so you would have to figure out words like sarcasm and what ahem was. Bro, back for another podcast. What up, my nerds? What up, my nerdettes? What up, new people, newbies? Let me grab this coffee real quick. This cafe con leche. Alright. This coffee right here is super weird, right? I'm gonna clue you guys in. Alright, so instead of milk, it has whey protein, right? It's Colombian coffee. It has whey protein concentrate. MCT oil is sweetened with monk fruit. It's got a natural vanilla flavor. And I don't like that it says natural flavor because you never know what that is. But potassium phosphate, I imagine that's to keep it good. Gel and gum, that is common. And then green coffee caffeine. So I got to be careful. It's got the green coffee caffeine in it. So it pretty much is Colombian coffee with a shot of call Taz up and get him to translate that for you. Good morning from the Shy. We've went on a transition. It has gotten cold. We had a light snow. I'm curious about this whole global warming thing, if we're even going to get a blizzard. Like, I'm really in like a mind state where I'm like, okay, how is global warming actually affecting local climate? Like, I understand polar ice caps are melting. I understand that the fires in California are at an all-time high. The temperature of the entire earth has dropped like somewhere in between 1 and 6 degrees on average. I might be getting too deep for you guys. It's early too. But I'm curious, is that going to affect the cloud, evaporation, precipitation? You know that whole phrase, I make it rain. It means something totally different during the drought. That's for my D-boys out there. But it's also for my apologetics people. All right, so yeah, it's only one who can truly make it rain, but that's way, way, way too deep. All right, so it's early morning and I feel really bad for a phase of the industry that has disappeared, right? Okay, so there was a phase during hip-hop history, because you can't act like this company didn't do anything for you if you were hip-hop. Guitar Center. I don't know how true this is, but the local Chicago news outlets are reporting that Guitar Center has filed for Chapter 11. If you don't know what Chapter 11 is, you need to go do your research. I'm not about to go into all of that, the legalities and everything. This is a podcast, man. It's not a legal. If I was a lawyer, this is a legal podcast, yeah, but it's not. So, anyways, Guitar Center has filed for Chapter 11, which means for them and for us, there's no problem with, buying gear, returning things, doing this, doing that, whatever, da 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 da. Websites up, stores still open, woo off the band. Although, in connection with coronavirus, COVID-19, people not following precautions, that's a huge one. people not following precautions. And I know I might get some pushback for this. I know some of y'all feel like you don't need to be told what to do, and some of y'all feel like it's, control, governmental control, and all that. I'm not going to get into the conspiracy theory part. I'm just going to say that if COVID-19 is a real deal issue, right, people should be following precautions. And because they're not in that situation that they would be if they if the virus was real, right? Because you got to talk like that to people. People would be dying, which is also being reported at astronomical numbers. So, being that is happening, right? People can't just walk into companies like my favorites, right? And so there was a point in time in history when Guitar Center was the only place that you could go in order to get a glimpse of your future, right? You could go in there, and my favorite piece of gear that they put on display to this day, to this very day, is the Roland MV. Oh my God. Back there. They had a Roland MV on display. It is the epitome of, I would say it's one of the best analog drum machines ever invented. And the difference in between the MV and the MPC for my heads is that you didn't have to load any sounds into it. You already had all of your Roland analog banks preheated at 375. They were already in there. So, while I get rid of my nostalgia, because I'm dating myself by telling you guys, yo, I remember when Roland released the MV. That was my favorite piece of gear that they had on display. So you could go in there and you could put your hands on a Nord lead, and you could hear those high-pitched, insane leads that Nord is so awesome at. You could finance things, and you could return gear. You could buy used gear. You could do everything. And it wasn't like used gear like online, like this is an open box. They might have dropped it in the toilet. We don't know. Which Guitar Center has a point system. They never do anything like that. Some online outlets that you may be buying gear from might have some gear that is questionable, that might just come from, I don't know, an angry girlfriend selling all her boyfriend's gear, or somebody who, smoked their gear out, and so it's, went through temperature changes, and you never know. But anyway, so Guitar Center had a point system. You could buy used gear that was up to snuff, up to code, or whatever. And it was right there under the glass, and you could be like, hey, can I take a look at that, blue baby bottle, or that blue Dragonfly microphone you got there? Oh, you guys marked it down? Okay, cool. I got this. Can I pay this? And then the guys they'll work with you. Now, you had your sharks. But it was dope because you could go in there, you could have a real experience with somebody who knew the gear, and they could say, hey, I don't know this piece of gear, but let me go and get my man so-and-so. And so-and-so will come, boom, and then he'll be like, oh, yeah, I got this piece. Basically, you click this knob, and then you do and then you do that, and then there's a sound. And you'll be like, oh, snap. What can I do for you? We can put together a package for you. Okay, we can put this. You can get these speakers, these monitors, this keyboard, this goes to that, and then we'll blot out. You feel me? Those days are pretty much, history now. Guitar Center's customer service department is impeccable. I've had it's customer service. So, sometimes you roll the dice depending on the company, but overall, Guitar Center's customer service is 5 stars. You feel me? But I really want to highlight, throughout hip hop history, Guitar Center has been a place that people can go, and I'm not doing like a Guitar Center eulogy. I'm just saying that I'm very sad that with the current state of how things are, the history of this country, the way we know it, will never be the same. And to kind of like give it that extra tone so that you guys feel me on this, there's people that, this is pretty dark. There's people that have contributed amazing things to hip hop, and there's people who do amazing things in the entertainment industry that they're no longer with us. They're no longer here. And we will not be able to experience their gifts ever again unless it's on some digital format or some analog recording. I didn't know this was gonna be hard. My bad. Awkward pause, sip of coffee. Let me pull my ish together. Remember when they used to reverse curse words on the radio? So instead of like taking them out, it was right before the beeping phase, or right after the beeping phase. They used to beep things out, but then they were like, let's rob the mother up, and they'll say something. It'd be like, ish. I can't take this. Zip. The DJs was able to go do their thing during that time. And if you could cut, they would let DJs cut on the radio. I mean, it's not like it is now. Like, they would have DJ battles on the radio. Oh my God, it was crazy. But again, I'm dating myself. Guitar Center and DJ culture are like, when you talk about the 5 elements, right, of hip hop, the only one that Guitar Center did not touch was breaking, I would say. I've never seen a Guitar Center dance event. Maybe they've sponsored some things that I don't know about, which I'm pretty sure they did. Maybe they did touch break dance or dance culture in hip hop. But I'm going to say go support Guitar Center. I'm going to say that. This is Bro Luh. I'm a co-sign Guitar Center on everything I love. Support Guitar Center. Please. Guitar Center and the DJ is like, mind you, for my new heads, there's no hip hop without the DJ. Guitar Center to the DJ is, we beat to rap like key beat to lock. If you know who I'm quoting, you get it. That lyric totally embodies a place where anything that you need, from turntables to mixers to faders to crossfaders to lights and smoke machines and, oh my God, everything. You could walk into a Guitar Center and walk out with a complete live show, right? You could even buy vinyl at Guitar Center, right? You could buy vinyl at Guitar Center. So, I mean, you had everything you needed. And I just want to emphasize how important Guitar Center has been to the culture, right? To black culture. I don't know who runs the company. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying, be that guy. I don't have any corporate interest. I don't have any people that are at Guitar Center that are like, hey. So I just think that this is important as I grow in my numbers to help and to add to companies that have been there for me, that have supported me throughout my growth and my history and my journey, right? I have no bad vibes. And so it's like, it may be a faux pas for me to endorse a company that is not, putting food on my table, whatever. At the same time, I think that it's important for me to emphasize how important their legacy is to new musicians. And that's my MO. New musicians should know about Guitar Center, right? Little kids in their elementary school music programs, whether they be online or not, should know about Guitar Center, right? So this is a future think. It's not just me rambling on about dribble in relation to, emotionalism and connection to artists that are passing away, which some of my favorites are and have. A lot of my favorites are and have. So yeah, it's a legacy thing too. But I'm gonna leave it there with this particular podcast. I think you guys have the gist. I apologize for getting emotional. And I'm grateful for another day to be able to transmit audio into the atmosphere and have you guys pull it down into your individual section and decipher it and disseminate it and chop it up and sample it and resample it in your brain and replay it for the world. You feel me? It's brother coming at you with the Cafe Con Leche from a great day in Chicago. Holla back.